We love you. As we all know, the missing boy, Timothy Pitson, well, this guy was a fake and used this poor little boy's name in vain and caused all this commotion and hopes and dreams to a family that is missing their son. But, you know, one day he may be found. But as they say, never give up hope. If anybody says they are a missing person, we have to believe them until we prove them wrong. And we have to carry on and keep looking, keep reporting, and never give up hope. This guy, this imposter, has a troubled past, this Brian Michael Rini. He's 23 years old, in and out of prison. He has just served a year in prison, just released last month. Charges and imprisonment was for burglary and bad checks and auto theft and vandalism. So, you know, when that lady thought he looked suspicious and was going to steal somebody's car, you see, that was her first instinct. That was her first instinct, and it was true. Because I believe that he was about to steal the car. But he came up with this fantastic story. I don't know where he got that story from, why he had this name in his head. Now, he's been in prison for a year. Maybe he looks through books of missing persons. You know, maybe he got on the computer. I don't know, but maybe he gets these names from somewhere, because he came out with that name right away. You know, when they said, you know, they talked to him and blah, blah, blah. He said, and he knew the date of birth. So, you know, he's probably been looking up missing persons. Now, let's hope he goes right back to prison for this, because this is terrible. I mean, this poor little boy is still missing, and he makes a mockery of it all. Shame on him. So he needs some kind of punishment, because this man's a con and a hooligan. Authorities say they tried to serve him with an unpaid bill of fines, and this was involving a separate criminal conviction just last week, they're saying. And the bill was returned because they couldn't locate. He couldn't be located. And that was just 8 days before he showed up in Kentucky. So he was on the run, and he is on probation. Is he on probation? Well, the thing is, he has gone to another state. So hopefully they'll press charges and send him back to prison. Because if you're on probation, you cannot leave the state, whatever state he is from. It doesn't matter if he just crossed the bridge or whatever. He still left the state and went into Kentucky. So I guess he's from Ohio. That's what the records say, that he was in rehabilitation, and correction shows that Rini was sent to prison in Belmont Correctional Institution in Claresville, Ohio. Following his conviction in Medina County in January 2018, he was released after serving most of a 18-month sentence, and he was released on March the 7th, 2019. Records indicate that he was supposed to immediately begin 3 years of supervision. But last week, when officials in Stark County, Ohio, tried to serve Rini with a bill for an unpaid fines in a separate case, they couldn't find him at this address. So the bill was returned and not served on March the 26th, 2019. Exactly 1 week before Rini was discovered in Kentucky. So you know this guy, he is going to be in trouble again. So perhaps he wanted to go back to prison. I don't know. Maybe life's easier for him there. But I certainly do think when he was acting suspicious, he was looking and nervous. Of course he was looking nervous because he's looking for a car to steal. According to the local news reports citing authorities, Rini and a group of friends held a tattoo party at a $400,000 model home where they broke in and trashed the house. Oh my God. Oh dear. The plan was very obvious. Bromwich Hills Township Police Chief Tim told local news outlets at the time quoted that the men's Facebook posts as saying, "Come on over. It's a $400,000 home. We're having a party. Bring your own drugs." And so this Brian Michael Rini, he pled guilty to burglary and vandalism in that incident. So, you know, this man owes a lot of money also. And then while that court case was in progress, he was also found guilty in another case. This one in the nearby Stark County. He was held, this one's also in Ohio, in April 2017 and charged with unauthorized use of a vehicle in November 2017. After his arrest involving the house party, records show that he pled guilty and in the Stark County case and was sentenced to 3 years of probation and 200 hours of community service. Restitution of only $1,750 and court costs. But, of course, he didn't pay up. He didn't pay up. And, but before he headed to jail on his burglary and vandalism convictions, according to the court records. But documents in Stark County case show that the court did not forget about the bill, you see. And the day he was released from Belmont Prison on March the 7th of this year, the county officials began trying to serve him. Well, why didn't they serve him while he was in prison? Huh? Because they would know exactly where he is. They should have served him in prison. Well, that don't make sense, does it? Or is that a boo-boo on their part? Well, they had a bill, and the total bill was $3,231.36 for the incurred amount of his fine. So I guess, you pay a fine. If you don't pay your fine, you get interest put on that. And, court ordered and all that goes along. You'd be paying for all that. They got to serve you and chase you down. It's going to cost you more. He was also convicted of an incident in August of 2015. Back then, he pled guilty to passing bad checks and was sentenced to 3 years of intensive supervision. Intensive. I wonder what that was about. That was in 2015. He was brought back to court in 2016 and brought back again to court in 2017. Each time for violations of his probation. And he's done it again. This guy is a full-time criminal. He doesn't learn by his mistakes. He just keeps rolling the dice. See where it lands on. Can see that. And then the final entry in that case occurs on March of 2017. So that's a little bit about him. So he's a long-time criminal, petty theft. I guess not a hard criminal, but drugs and partying and stealing cars and vandalism and writing stolen checks. So he's not like hardcore, but he's leading up to that. And now, just yesterday, he's done the ultimate. Now, what are they going to do to him? How can you punish a man like this? Falsifying, using somebody else's name. I don't know what else you can charge him with. But you know what? I think he's going back to prison. He's had many attempts on probation, and he's failed every time. He's failed. He's had extensive supervision, which, I don't know what that was about. Maybe that was about no drugs, no drinking, I don't know, ankle bracelet maybe. I don't know. But he's 23, 24, and, you think he'd grow up by now. But we'll see where this man lands up. He crossed the line, the state border, Ohio into Kentucky. So he's left the state without permission. I don't know how much time that carries, but I'm sure they will prosecute him to the fullest on this falsifying, pretending to be somebody he wasn't, some missing poor little boy who has a family that is missing him, and you make up this stuff and give false hope. So, but I still don't think this man's going to learn. He's not going to learn. He's an idiot. He's pea brain. So guys, that's a little bit about him. What an idiot. What a idiot. But like I said, if anybody comes up to you and says they're missing, you have to report it. You have to call the police. You have to investigate it. Because this might be true next time. Do you know what I mean? It might be true. Not everybody's a liar. I mean, at least investigate it. That's the only thing we can do. And even if you see somebody that looks like somebody, you just have to report it, because you never know. We only have hope. There's only hope. And there's a lot of people that do come home. They do realize they were a missing person. And when they get the chance, they do run and get help. And that's the end of that. It's not him, but he still could be out there. He still could be out there. And maybe one day he will come home. Let's hope that he will come home one day, sooner than later. So guys, let's have a discussion on this fake man. You know, this Brian Michael Rini, imposter, disgusting person. And thank you for stopping by.